Currently, Neiti is working with the Efcc to recover $6 billion owed to the federal government of Nigeria, disclosed courageously by Neiti in our last report published in September 25, 2004, and the 30th of October last year. That process is on, and another 66 billion naira, $6 billion, and so that's kind of impact in terms of regulation. Neiti was behind. It was our report that flagged the Petroleum Industry Act. And that act is the basis of reforms for the oil, gas, and the mining industry, among other disclosures, just in a nutshell. But a training with this committee, which we have proposed in 2025, will be very, very useful, very useful. And I do thank you for bringing, among other impacts, so that I have time to work on the other questions. The Neiti is a global organization that is seeking transparency and accountability in the oil and gas and mining industry that has brought so much impact. We are currently facing a lot of challenges trying to work with the Committee on Solid Minerals and the Ministry to reform our solid minerals sector, which is a whole lot of challenge that we have. Our reports have been presented to you, and the National Assembly has a specific role under the law in that report to recover and to deal with all the remedial issues we have flagged on. So, on professional bodies, the question of professional bodies is covered under public service rule, that the government undertakes payment of professional fees for acknowledged professional associations. ICANN is one of them, MBA is one of them, ANANG is one of them, Nigerian Society of Engineers is one of them. Recognized professional associations. Now, public service rule is covered. So, if you are, we don't pay for your registration. If you are a member, you are encouraged to participate actively in those very reputed, because there are a lot of trainings that have to build their capacity in their work. There was also a question on the balance between on our nominal role. Sir, if we look at our nominal role, there are very few agencies that we know that are representative as we are in Neiti. The only state that doesn't have a staff in Neiti is Adamawa State. It's Taraba State, sorry. It's Taraba. That's the only state that is not in Neiti. And we are taking measures in future to address that. But are all the states equally represented? Yes and no. Some are more. It's based on confidence, but I think federal character emphasizes representation. I don't think it emphasizes equality of states. So we have done our best and we'll keep improving. On the issue of Southwest not having a director, we are addressing it, because our next promotion, we are also looking at all that. Because career in public service has to do with growth. You can't just take somebody on level 14 and make him a director. It has to grow from the ranks. As people are retiring, you are filling up and balancing the various states. And we do think we will address that in due course. So on the issue of international, the various travels and local trainings that are itemized, these are templates that are contained in the envelopes, in the budget office envelopes. And I hope our Director of Finance and Administration will give specific clarification on the various items that are contained in those. I was also asked about to show proof of computer and computer accessories. I'm sure the Director Finance and Admin, including financial consulting, a lot of questions. But the one I would like to talk on quickly is on the honorarium and sitting allowance. It is a template budget item for management of our board members. On that particular item, we manage our board allowances, we manage our board meetings, their travels, and most things, every other thing that they do under the board, including board some welfare support we will give to members of the board at meetings.
So my general comment is that most of our MDAs should ensure that whatever they are bringing as budget proposal must actually tally with the line item and the purpose why we want to use such funds for whatever it is. So I want to come to my proposal. Let's not just see budget defense as, okay, the money is there, Nigeria's money, we are all sharing it. Let's see how we can get our own share. It shouldn't be that way. Because here I can see other maintenance services, 12 million point something. What is that? What exactly is that? It's not specified. And then I go to you go to page 34, I'm still on page 34. Annual budget expenses and administration. You used 5 million last year, and now 2025, you want 25 million for logistics for annual budget preparation by the secretariat. What is that? We don't understand. I don't understand. So what do you mean by that? 25 million just for annual budget expenses, that you are coming here, you want to spend 25 million to print the documents or what? So I need that understanding. Then I go to page 35, where you said refreshment and meals. What you use for refreshment and meals in 2024 is more than what you are proposing for 2025, despite the fact that things are even more expensive now. And in your justification, you mentioned the National Assembly. I can't remember this committee inviting us to come for oversight, to come and eat in your establishment. So refreshments and meals, 32 million naira. No matter the type of stakeholders that come to you throughout the year, there's no way. What are you serving? People don't serve more than tom-tom and Coke and water. There's never any time you serve meals.
And the water is even room temperature.
Whatever it is, you spend 32 million. How many establishments you come in 12 months? What are you talking about? So please, these things should really, be what it should be. Not because we are doing budget proposal and then we are just putting the money, everybody is just putting their thing. This is taxpayers' money. A lot of Nigerians are suffering. If some Nigerians see even 500,000, it will go a long way to change their lives. So for us to just be putting all these figures, it gives me headache as an individual. That's my general comment, sir. Thank you.
You said telephone charges. Do you pay for recharge card? Do you buy recharge card for the staff? Or which of the telephone? Do we still have land telephone in your offices? So are you with me, sir? So page 30. Do you buy recharge card? What do you mean by telephone charges? So page 41. You said improvement of Neiti house. While you are talking to us about your 2024 performance, you said you have just gotten a brand new headquarters. So when did your contractor hand over to you? Is it so bad within that period to know that now you want to use this humongous amount of money to improve? What are you improving? Are you painting it in good color or whatever? We need you to please elucidate.
The purchase of photocopy machines there, they put 81,200,000. Now, the best sharp MT 5051 colored photocopier is just about 4.1 million. If you use that to divide your 81 million, that means you are buying about 19 photocopier for whose office? And then you look at the shredding machine, the highest you get is about 240K. And then you want to spend 6 million, you are buying about 25 pieces of that. And then you look at the amount they want to use. You know, even though many of us are not builders like that, but we have little properties here and there that we do improvement on. And when you say you want to spend 175 million to just upgrade security posts, office fencing, just, I mean, this is too outrageous. Please, for the sake of Nigerians, you need to reduce some of these things. Thank you very much.
But I would like to, on this note, on the fact that, yes, the economy is actually fighting. The population, our people, for whom we are all here standing for and holding brief for them, are also crying out. Then agencies of government like your own must also be mindful of what to expend out of public coffers. All of these presentations you have made, the expenditures proposed, are all going to be done at the expense of the public. And sometimes you tend to make some presentations that sounds funny and very insulting in the eyes of the people. When you now, for instance, say in your projection, item 22020006, that welfare packages in form of ex gratia, health insurance, welfare packages to staff and some critical stakeholders during festive periods. The narrative, the language you are using there is quite indicting, and that will attract a very, very negative response from the members of the public. Welfare packages for stakeholders, and in some places you went ahead to even cite clearly as part of your stakeholders and what do you call it? And yes, as part of your stakeholders, you went ahead to write refreshment. And for your stakeholders, at the end you cited the name of the National Assembly members, Accountant General. For God's sake, this is an eyesore. And for those of us that are here on behalf of Nigerian people, we cannot actually see these things and simply overlook it. We cannot overlook this kind of uncalled for public expenditure with public funds. So thank God it doesn't end on your table, it will end up on our own table. And I think it's wiser and it's quite more prudent when we utilize every kobo to the benefit of the people. Agreed, you are serving the interest of the people at your own level through your what do you call it, your statutory mandate and jurisdiction. But definitely when expenditure is meant to simply address the gallery or something that will have no public importance or public value, then definitely the House and the National Assembly by extension will not allow such expenditures to go scot-free. We will not take this. So that's why I said we will not even rush passing your budget here to the lenses of the camera. We must be allowed to go through, scrutinize your presentation, see, and ensure that we dot the T's and clot the I's. These are some of the things that we have to address when the country is going through a lot of hardship. Unfortunately, I have to agree to that. And you are now bringing it clearly on your budget presentation that you have welfare packages. For God's sake, I think for the past 2 years that we have been in charge of this committee, we've never even been to Neiti for any practical oversight. I don't know whether members were there on private level. We were not there. Then why will you now be bold to write in black and white that, oh, you have welfare packages for stakeholders, in which you wrote the name of the National Assembly? Honestly, I want to, on behalf of my members, take exception to that. We have never been granted or accorded any opportunity to do with any welfare from Neiti and any other agency under our jurisdiction. If there is any welfare, we will look forward to agencies of government to cater. Should be welfare to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our own welfare is being taken care of here statutorily by the National Assembly. I think I will have to take these specific exceptions for and on behalf of the National Assembly. Is there clearly written, sir? Is there clearly written? Yeah. Refreshment during engagement with stakeholders, staff, management, National Assembly, Auditor General, Accountant General, and other ESC also meeting with stakeholders. No, for whatever intention you might have placed this, my brother, it will fly with us. And the other one on page Which page is this, madam? The next page. It states clearly welfare packages in form of ex gratia.
Yes.
This is not a good. It's not a good language, please. Very insulting to the institution and insulting to Nigerian members of Nigerian public. Sorry, it's just a rider. No, you hold on until when the mics gets to you, then you now respond. Generally, I don't want you to take any specific opportunity or any question specifically. Just jot it down, and when we finish asking questions, you respond to them collectively, please. But the fact is that no one of us will take this lightly, especially when you couch it in a language that will definitely be insulting to the institution and to the members as well. It might be an oversight on your own side, or probably those who might have developed this template, but this definitely will not fly. We cannot waste public's money amounting to about 128.7 million naira in the name of welfare packages. It's here. Justification. 128.7 million naira in the name of welfare packages in form of ex gratia, health insurance, welfare packages to staff, and some critical stakeholders. The most insulting word there is welfare packages. What do you mean by welfare packages? Nigerians will want to know what is contained here. So please, you don't have to do it. It's already here. For me, it's already in the in the theater. So the appropriate doctors will look at it and do the right thing. But this has to be actually
It's almost the same pages.
Yes. First and the next page. Okay, honorable.
We are allies of the National Assembly. If there are any repetitions or any areas of it, we are compliant to budget templates. I think what we need to do as a body is also to
maybe for agencies to develop budget lines peculiar to their operations. The honorable member here raised the issue, say budget ceiling. That is the envelope we are giving. And that envelope, you are giving budget line, you begin to squeeze the activities you have into those budget lines. And then the template is not universally convenient for all agencies. You find the operations that are peculiar to Neiti. For instance, Neiti is an international. There are basic obligations that we owe the country to comply and remain compliant to the international community. And these are things I understand, sir.
The issues you must be able to address.
I will.
I will not expect a situation whereby you have your core commitments in accordance with best practices of other global agencies that you now relate with, and you now be dictated either by the Ministry of Finance or the Budget Office. In terms of actually allocating your funds within the relevance and the significance of your core duties, then nobody should dictate that for you.
The budget lines will give you the flexibility to.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. No one else out of Neiti will suggest to you budget lines.
Thank you, sir.
I agree with you. You can be given a ceiling, an envelope of so amount of funds available to our agency.
Thank you, sir.
But when you come to now allocate these funds and resources in accordance with the discharge of your duties and mandate, then you must have to do that in line with your core mandate, and you must use those funds to core relevant commitments.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you can't be dictated only to misappropriate.
Let me guess, meant or designed in any way to be a waste.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the way it was presented. Let's take the welfare packages.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we have industry-specific, specified insurance for workers. Life insurance for all our staff. It's industry-specific. If you go to any organized industry, oil and gas, the first thing they give you is security briefing.
Then security of your staff
Yes,
and
sir.
life insurance
Yes.
should have been captured in different narratives.
It is the way.
But no one will accept that narrative where you started by welfare packages. Packages for who?
The welfare packages
No.
is the way
You should have captured that in the true words of it, the true intent. You have insurance.
Noted, sir.
You have training. You have the security of your members of staff.
But the thematic.
These are terms that are palatable.
Noted,
can be
sir.
acceptable and understood
Noted,
by
sir.
Nigerian public.
Noted, sir.
But when
So-
you are presenting certain words that will only embarrass Nigerian public, embarrass them.
In fact, you were preaching to the converted. We don't do anything that we hurt. We are an agency that tries to achieve much with less. Maybe the way we presented these cases may not really speak exactly to how we operate. And we're going back to also look at it. But the way we were responding to the templates constrained our explanation. That's just the point. Maybe that's the issue. So please, I want to disabuse your mind that there is anything in this. Okay, let's, for instance, sir, why do we need to have the impact of EITI? It's statutory. This is 20 years. We signed into this initiative in 2003. We want to assess, is still, what has Neiti brought to the bear to be able to continue to be a member of the organization? How do we improve our services? And it's a nationwide study that we have to do, and we are getting support from both the civil society, from the companies themselves, and how can our work impact more in reforming the industry for which we are oversighted. The money we projected for it is a projection. It could cost less because it's going to be globally, internationally advertised. It's going to be advertised. It's what at the end of the procurement process, what comes out of it is what going to. So I want to assure you that we are aligning very well with government-sensitive public spending. We're also supporting the concerns of members of National Assembly, especially this committee, and we will widen our engagement and so that you understand the kind of work we do and why we need the kind of funds that will require. Our budget perhaps is not what we ought to be, but we will continue to manage and then spend according to value, public value that we offer. As a transparency organization, no one can expect less. So we will look at any editorial errors that possibly could have arisen in misunderstanding the presentation of the concepts we are presented. But bear you in mind and be reassured that Neiti remains an agency that seeks to achieve much with less.
But so far, I would like to thank you for the time and, of course, the very rich engagement we have had with you. And I wouldn't want to pass any judgment, but I'm impressed by your conduct and, of course, the manner you made your presentations. We only have a few reservations that we need to really sort out with you. But so far, for me, so good in the presentations. And I will want to thank honorable members also for their own time. This is one committee that is quite important, not only to the legislature here, but it's quite important to the people of the country. And whatever we are doing here must exactly reflect nothing but the interest of the people, so that you and as an agency, and to some extent some of our some of your areas of work fall under like what you can call regulatory. You have some regulatory things that you are doing. You must be exemplary in what you are doing, so that others could learn from the way and manner you are conducting yourself as an agency. So